been thinking wrong. Yeah, hop into my zone, put the scissor home. Nah, please set up my phone, I ain't staying long. Flexing on you fakes, I ain't bend a bone. Coldest culture, fuck with the coda, I know. They be faking and making it rain with the stolen thunder. Some of y'all be dealing with snow, kick up your nose. Ironic that the sickest to win is developing cold. But motherfuck you waste mans. They skin pillin', pit pillin', cultural spray can. Drinking Henny, pretending it brings enjoyment when y'all ain't even never comfortable in your own sin. Rap to double the stacks, front of the class, divided in dividends, fuck up the math. Look at the bag, 70 racks independent of cash. Call up the deputy, yelling got equity, don't give a fuck about cash. Don't got a many, but do with a mag, they send it a look at the past. Fuck all these niggas, they trash, smoke up and do relax. And put the phone down, put the phone down. Attention has no bounds, remember what's going round. My enemies go down, vengeance is profound. Lost your professionalism, oh wow. Fucking deputy at all time, I'ma never leave the old house. Unapologetic, if you diabetic, I'm swinging up your whole. Y'all been ducking, I've been daily. Couldn't get a fuck about your neighbors. Y'all got stuck and now you blame it. Couldn't get enough from all those favors, huh? Ducking, diving demons. Couldn't get a bundle, so you're saving up for the stage you at in the game. So you can't save this shit or control your life. Sensitive, privilege, bitches developing feelings. Had to get cancer to see all the benefits. Pulled out your debit and realized the zeros was too much to settle. So you switching parties like Copo invaded it. I still be protesting the brutality that my brothers is facing. Hey, y'all some faking bitches, fuck your favorite dishes. If it ain't got healthy, then I take the exit. Big bets, big change, feel the spectrum of emotion in a range. I'm in my bag, I don't need rap to double the stacks. Front of the class, divided in dividends, fuck up the math. Look at the bag, 70 racks independent of cash. Call up the deputy, yelling got equity, don't give a fuck about cash. I'm in my bag, I don't need rap to double the stacks. Front of the class, divided in dividends, fuck up the math. Look at the bag, 70 racks independent of cash. Call up the deputy, yelling got equity, don't give a fuck about cash. Tell me why they say they stay, then they always go. Cause I don't want no one beside me when I'm riding home. That driver's cold got me turning heel, I can't find my soul. Got a sold out arena of thoughts inside my dome, and I cannot supply the show. It's been a minute, but I still get it. When you behind my bars, I know that you still fit a sentence, but I never listen or level say anything. So when you mention it, where there is, know that I'm your enemy. I am a hypocrite living, a bit of the ignorance missed. The imminent hurt, fuck it, put him in the dirt, it's a better way to deal with. It's turning me cynical, burning the medical, I feed my ego. Claim that I don't need to go, but really I feel like Vegeta. I need a bomber, someone would drive beyond the Taurus. My mind like Yoba, multiple voices trying to control you. I rolled the dice, found myself a material vice. Felt the patience over generations, but forcing my natural life. This is for the players in the back with the show. Got your neck iced out, hot and insecurities. Hitting on these hoes with the gold, your priority. Got your presidential distance, sweet to your authority. I'ma run the road without a rodeo or chain. I know my flow strong when I'm rolling to the bank. I'ma run the game, I'ma run the game, I'ma run the game. Tell me why they say they stay, then they always go. Still I'm hoping you beside me when it's time to blow. I'm on my own, pray my cynicism don't find a home. So when you jump into conclusions, yo Geronimo, you might end up on your own. It's been a minute since I tried to mend a friendship. We don't gotta be fucking it, but we benefiting. But if you ask me, I'ma bend it, hit it, end of sentence. Pray that you don't hit me and get offended, we're reminiscing. I'ma get the dome run, fuck that emotional junk, yeah. Don't look at me like I'm a copy of that Louis Vuitton, no. Am I a sinner to mention my inner condition and deepest his eyes. You gotta bring it and figure out children and bring up some whole new life. I'ma just throw these lines under the rug and over my eyes, feeding me slugs for bullets of love, but the gun's not loaded right. I'm borderline, not commitment been normalized. Melted patience over generations, been forced by us to break over ties. This one's for the players in the back with the shouty. Got your neck iced out, hot and insecurities. Hitting on these hoes with the gold, your priority. But your presidential just to speak to your authority. I'ma run the road without a rodeo or chain. I know my flow's strong when I'm rolling to the bank. I'ma run the game, I'ma run the game, I'ma run the game.
Put me down, bring me up. Lone wolf in these streets and I don't give a. Call me Kuma, bitches racist. Light up in the room, leave you fooled by faded.
I'm gonna break a bone, I'm gonna break a bone. I've been thinking wrong, shit my conscience can't condone. Yeah, cracker blokes, why you cracking jokes? I'm at your folks, packing dope, slam the dope. I am the manifestation of having no patience, hope. In the back and I'm waiting to flatten your face and I'll have no mo. His man don't wanna talk, man don't wanna talk.
Ratting in the dark, phantom of the ops.
Bitch, I'm Ansari, hustle Minaj, hustling hard. Don't play the lousy, I'm sorry, I fuck with your card. You terrible fam, I don't care if you rap, I don't fuck with the bars. Wanna be a black offspring, but still don't fuck with the march. What's up with that? I'ma bust right back. Retaliation, we tan your face, this your color bath. Ready to die? Front to back. Got the T.I. with the B.I. Now we fucking at.
All these motherfuckers, 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 all these.
Put me down, bring me up. Lone wolf in these streets and I don't give a. Call me Kuma, bitches racist. Light up in the room, leave you fooled by faded.
I like my curry with the side of butter now, bitch. Ain't got no worries but the claim that I'm a convict. Yeah, I've been away, been doing 300 records a day. But when you hearing the buzz from your record, so all you can think is Guantanamo Bay.
No, I won't give you validation for fragility. Whoa, I've been running this same race since I was mini-me. Damn, I can probably give you power for that whackness. Damn. But this the 6, I check the hour and you're back, bitch. I've been living in culture of riches, about the world bitches. They fuck up the pressure, I'm here as the witness of variable sickness. My heritage is the shit to be getting with imminent. It's the threat of them appearing to stick my ribs in it now. I'm pausing the scene and I'm looking around, looking right now at
all these motherfuckers, 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 all these.
John, eh? More like Ram to Krishna. Yeah, right, buddy, like your name is John.
Put me down, bring me up. Lone wolf in these streets and I don't give a. Call me Kuma, bitches racist. Light up in the room, leave you fooled by faded.
Sonic.
we're live. Gotta love awkward intros, right? Oh, I've already used that joke. Damn.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Rohan,
I'm DJ AP.
and we are Keralanka. The Kera is for Kerala, the Lanka is for Sri Lanka, and this is episode 4? Episode 4 of the Keralanka Show!
We actually have a live studio audience.
We actually do
I'm
have a
not
lot.
boosting.
Yeah, we're not gonna show them, but we got like bare people in here right now, building up a good vibe. You hear that jeez in the background? For all our non-Toronto natives, that's a way of saying we're excited. But yo, before we head into our episode today, we just want to spend some time, especially for first-time viewers, just telling. Mom, I don't smoke. Damn. That's a good vibe, man. It's funny. All right. Yeah, we just want to spend some time explaining the foundations of the show for first-time viewers. So some of you might be familiar with the concept of intersectionality. It's the idea that people of different backgrounds, genders, ethnicities, etc. need to work together in order to achieve a common goal.
And we want to take that and we want to see what would happen if we applied it to the world of art.
Yeah, so we have a really dope lineup of artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, etc., who apply the concept of intersectionality not just to their art, but also to their life.
We talk to the guests, translate it into a beat, and we live happily ever after.
Dope. Okay, so without further ado, I want to introduce our incredible, beautiful guest today. She's an incredible visual artist, and what I really love about her is that she is telling the story of just human existence and who people are as an individual. Can we please make some noise for Zahra SIDDIQUI? Can I get... Yo, this is the most live crowd we've had. Oh, I love this. I don't know if y'all hear the bump in the background, but what's up, Zahra? How you doing?
I'm so good.
Yeah?
How could I be anything else?
That's good to hear. Yeah. For those tuning in who might not know who you are, do you want to just give a quick little spiel of what you do?
Yeah, I am a photographer, a visual artist, a youth mentor, a curator, a Toronto connector,
That's amazing.
a person who tries to be kind and compassionate. That's a
awesome.
good start.
And you're an OG.
Yeah,
We
that's what
decided
you
this
guys
morning
called me today.
You're an OG.
Yeah.
She's an OG. Facts. Yo, like she's been in the creative community for Toronto for so long and influenced so many people. Even though we've had conversations about her, it's incredible the impact she made. So we're hella excited for today. And thank you for being our guest. We appreciate it. All right, cool. So without further ado, we're gonna hop into our first question.
Yes, let's do it.
So, first question on the Keralanka Show today is, what does intersectionality mean to you?
Okay. I'm happy that you're asking this question. So
Take it whatever you want to take it.
yeah, intersectionality.
Cheyenne time.
I mean, it's in this day and age, it's such a broad question. But I think I was even telling you guys earlier that when I think of intersectionality, in a way, I think of I would call it the superhuman. So somebody who comes with so many layers and levels and lived experience, and it's just such a complex type of a person. But, well, that would be what someone would define that at this time. But really, to me, I think the complex person is every single person. And so... in a way, when I think of intersectionality, I think of like the most incredible human being who's being all of themselves, and whether they like it or not, whether they can have control of it or not, that's how I view us. You know, it's just not easy to define somebody. So intersectionality, is that really something that is uncommon, or it's everybody? You know, and
I like how you said like everyone's complex.
Every single person.
No one is like, you can't make a blanket like assumption about anyone, and like we have so many different like interests, and like my friend Cheyenne likes to call it like competing versions of the self. You know, where it's
that's
like,
a good.
You've done so many things like in the realm of social work, but also in the form of expression through your own art, and you're telling the stories of others, but you're kind of telling your own story through others in a lot of ways too, right?
This is very true.
Yeah, which is amazing. So. When did you come to that realization then that that's what intersectionality means to you? Like the superhuman?
I think when I really started discovering who I was just as a person. You know, I'm born and raised in Toronto. I
This crowd is so hyped. Asking serious questions. We just got facts in the background.
So Toronto, born and raised, Scarborough specifically. I come from a Pakistani family. So already what comes with living like that double life of like Western and, you know, being South Asian. So you're kind of like starting from early to like just figure out who you are, and not necessarily being embraced for who you are. So like growing up here, being brown, like you got teased, like that was not ever cool, ever cool. So you start to deny that part of you in a way. So then then I'm also queer. So I was like, oh no, like this can't get worse. It can't get worse, you know. And I was like, I was scared. I was scared to be who I was. So then, you know, I started when I was like in my 20s is when I started really kind of facing all those elements, and then having the right people around me, friends, a community. Like Toronto's privileged in a way where we have a place to go if you have questions about your sexuality, about, you know, that at least. But then I started embracing who I was, and I realized that like I'm amazing.
Yeah. Let's go. I fuck with that heavy.
That's dope.
That's amazing. That's so dope.
I hope that didn't come off the wrong way.
No, hell no, man. Embrace that. That's and you are amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
like, and I want to ask you, like, when is it that you had that shift in mentality where it's like, you know, we all have a hyphenated identity, I think is what they call it, where it's like, you're like, yeah, you're Pakistani, but then you're also Canadian. Like, you have so many layers to your identity. When did you, like, sort of view that as, like, a positive and a plus, and I don't know if empowering is the right word, but like view it in a different lens?
I think, you know, it's just like it's an ongoing process. But the more you, I mean, I like to practice a lot of self-care in the you know, in the realm of spending time with myself, sitting in silence a lot, being comfortable to be alone. I've just kind of like learned who I am, and it's like you surrender to who you are, and like, you know, I can't be anything different. So like, why am I gonna fight myself on what I am? I mean, I still I'm challenged. You know, I have insecurities, and like I feel like I can't totally be myself in all spaces because of other people's uncomfortability with things. But every day, I just, you know, I try to do something where it's like, you know what, I remind myself that I'm pretty great, and it could be worse. And so I'm just like, you know, and not from an ego place, like from like, I just
confidence, you know,
and like love, like, you know, love, and you know, at the end of the day, I know me, and I know that I a priority for me is to be is to move from my heart. So whether other people do or not cannot be my focus.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, that's so beautiful. And like, I'm glad, you know, even if you don't feel safe in some spaces, I'm glad you're continually evolving and feeling more comfortable with yourself.
It's ongoing.
Then thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Cool. So that was the first question. We're gonna keep going, but we haven't really explained the logistics of how the Keralanka Show goes down. So this is how it goes down. All right. So firstly, AP and I are gonna be rotating, asking Zahra questions here at the interview station. Then secondly, while one of us is here asking her question, the other one of us is can't speak today. The other one of us is going to be at the creative station building a beat in real time, inspired by Zahra's answers. And then finally, at the end of the episode, stick around. We're going to show everyone the beat, and we're going to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
So, cool. So we got the rules going, but I think that there's one problem. We got to figure out who's going to the creative station first, right?
Okay.
So we got this coin over here.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a good coin tosser.
No,
so.
I don't know.
All
We'll
right,
see.
oh
God.
I'm gonna call it, and then depending on who wins, we're gonna decide.
All right. See, look.
It's fine.
Trash. Okay.
Trash. Okay.
I said I'd roast her at least once. All right, cool. What is it? It's that's
Tails.
Tails.
Tails. All right.
What you want to do?
I'm going to.
What you gonna do, AP?
I think I'm going to stick around here.
Yes.
Contribute
Yeah?
first.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
For the next
So
round.
dope,
Okay.
dope, dope.
I'm about to drop. Oh,
Let's do this.
oh. Oh, blue actors. Gotta love it.
No, that's hilarious though. You guys sharing the shit.
Okay, good.
I
You know,
can't.
like that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
We just hoped it would just like.
It's sweet. It's cute. It's cute.
We got that on camera. She said it's cute.
It's cute.
She did.
Yeah.
Is this still recording?
Oh yeah. We're live right now, man.
No one can hear the audience, so it just looks like you guys are talking.
We're gonna talk after the show. You and me have a conversation.
All right, so here on the Keralanka Show, you know, we just like to get right into it, as you already experienced with that first question. So I'm gonna get right into it again, and I'm just gonna start with your art form, which is photography, right? But you like to be called a mixed media. Am I correct?
Yes, mixed media
mixed
artist.
media artist. So what was it that got you into photography? Like what was that initial spark?
That's like 8 years ago now. I feel like I've told this story so many times, and the good thing is like I love telling the story
Okay, that's good.
because it really is, it represents the beginning, right, of like the birth of this.
Of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a good friend of mine named Shy Wisdom. She's a singer songwriter. You know, one day we were kicking it, hanging out, and she, you know, I had just said to her that I feel like I like taking pictures. You know, it's just really light kind of expression of something to share. And I didn't really share stuff like that, but like I said it to her, and her response was, "So do it." And I know that sounds simple. Like, this is not some kind of crazy story, but when you're brown, you know, you can't really say like I want to take pictures and it's go do it. It's it's just a blank stare and then moving on with your
that's
life.
cool. So anyways, what are you actually gonna do? Or like something like
100%.
that, right? Yeah.
So Shai said that to me, and then that same day she's like, you know, what's your budget? Let's go to Future Shop, and we got in her car, went to Future Shop. I got like whatever camera was on sale, and I used that for like 4 years. And so because she's a singer-songwriter, she would have me around, you know, bring me in, give me access, create space, and have me there shooting, you know, live shows.
Having friends like that is like always
It's
the
like-
best. Like the people who just like, you just tell them like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And there's like, why not?
It's like such a simple act, and it changed
But
everything.
it's like, it's so simple, yet it's like, it's so rare. You know what I mean?
It's very true.
And like once you experience it, the effect it has on you is just like,
yeah,
I mean, it's changed your life, right?
Oh,
Like,
100%.
yeah.
100% changed my life. Changed. It gave me a place to learn how to express myself, and I wasn't very good at expressing myself, feelings through words. So it. Wow.
I can't kick it. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Roach the rescue.
Continue.
Who invited this guy?
Wait.
I did. I invited him.
That's okay. We love him. I'm dead.
This is what he just passed me, okay? This is what's going on. Anyway, yes.
So, all right.
Yeah.
You were talking about expressing yourself, and it was
Yeah,
was
so a
something that was
friend,
difficult for
it
you
was
to do.
difficult. And photography, you know, it became like a place of therapy. It became a place of like happiness and like tunnel vision towards myself, and you know, and that was the beginning. So that was 8 years ago.
So, like, before that moment, like, how did that interest in photography develop?
I didn't. Before that moment, I went to school as for child and youth work. I worked at Covenant House. That's how I met Balu, my friend that's here today.
Okay.
He's a beatboxer, and he came through and he was teaching kids how to beatbox.
That's dope.
And I was working there as a youth worker. So before photography, I was working there. I was working with the Children's Aid Society in group homes. So very, very, important work and work from my heart. But it's nice that I've been able to infuse the two because I mentor youth, now.
Yeah.
Social justice through photography. So it's interesting how everything kind of came full circle, and it answers a lot of questions just as to who I am or what kind of future was kind of destined for me, maybe. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, like, before that day when you're like, I like taking photos.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, you like, it wasn't even like a hobby thing or like...
I don't know, what phone did I have? Like, the Pebble or the Crazer or the Razor. I don't know. One of these.
Okay.
There was a Pebble, right?
There was a Pebble? Okay. There was a Razor. I remember the Razor.
Yeah, I was one of those, So, like, I'm out here, like, just taking pictures with those. And then, so I took pictures with this regular phone. And it was from that. Yeah. It was more, you know what it was? Like, it was more like I don't know what it was that moved me to say something. So I think that's something I should probably spend more time on. I wonder what made me just say it to my friend at the time.
Okay, so, I definitely want to dig into this more after the show.
Okay.
But right now, I got to go over to the creative station.
Yes, okay, this is exciting.
I use this as inspiration.
How's that? AP's a shit interviewer, huh? He just made her feel so awkward.
Yo, you gotta stop using the line.
No, he's
I'm
wonderful.
gonna recycle that line to death.
He's so
good.
good.
I was kidding. That's my bro. All right, cool. So I want to dig into a topic that you were actually like just talking about, and you were talking about self-care. But I want to dig into self-care specifically as a creative. So obviously, you'd think self-care is important for creatives. I'm not going to dig into that, but how can a creative recognize, that balance between, like, obviously, like, we live in a world where everyone's chasing their dreams and, like, going for it, like, being able to balance that, dream chasing sort of side of things along with really knowing when to step back and say, like, no, to whether that's to a gig, whether that's to taking a week off from making something, like,
It's like, I think that's a complex question because we're all such individuals. I mean,
right.
For me,
for you,
it's like it's just necessary to care for self, and I fall. I mean, I don't always succeed, because there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of lack of supports to like help you get through your real emotions sometimes.
Right.
And then you're a creative, so you can't really, like for me, I can't force myself to create something. I can't force myself to, be on. If I have a shoot booked, if I'm not feeling right, it's going to affect the outcome.
Right.
So
that's a really interesting way to think about it. Like thinking about it from the standpoint of like, this is actually good for your art. It's not like a bad thing. Right.
Well, you being 100% is good for your whole life and everything you do.
Right.
So, and I'm learning that slowly now, and I have people around me, thank God, who remind me to think about myself, And that's, I think, key, too, for self-care is who's around you. Who do you speak to? Who do you share space with? What, even with, like, social media, who do you follow? What do you read? What are you
consuming, right?
Yeah, it's like, so I'm now, I mean, I think it's a constant journey, self-care, but I think that creatives, especially creatives, because I think we're very much moving from our heart and fighting obstacles that we're using a lot of energy.
Right.
And so you really need to give yourself some energy back.
It's crazy because I feel like I've always, like, I'm trying to change now, but I've always looked at it as, like, making decisions for my creative self and then making decisions for myself. But now, like, even as you're saying this, I'm realizing it's like you're just one self. Right? It's not like necessarily like make a decision that's good for like your creative endeavors that's bad for the self. That's just bad for you, right?
Yes, and I'm still learning that too.
Sure, and we're all always constantly learning. I think that's a beautiful part of it. When did you sort of did you ever sort of look at it separately? Like, these are my creative endeavors and this is like me, or were you always looking at it as one Zahra? You know what I mean? Like,
always one Zahra.
Okay.
Because I this is my third career. This is not my first.
Right.
This is not my first point of changing and transitioning. I've been changing and transitioning since I was a child.
Right.
So, this is just added to the story. It's just one of the chapters.
For sure.
So it's one of the chapters in the book of Zahra.
Ooh, the Book of Zahra. Can I get a air horn just for the Book of Zahra? Thank you. Go buy that in stores whenever 2020. I don't know. Okay, that's sorry. I was gonna say something. Okay, that's crazy. We had Reese on, who's a friend of yours, last week. Shout out to Reese, man, if you're watching. But yeah, we were talking a lot about embracing change and the fact that now she's okay with. She no longer fears lack. I think that's what she said. I'm butchering it, but
yes,
like
Reese,
when
I love her.
something when something escapes her life, her reaction to it is very different.
Yeah, so
compared to, like, 10 years
detachment.
ago. Yeah. So how would you say you've adapted to like lack and like change throughout your career?
Oh my gosh, I think that's an area that I'm so happy that I spent time focusing on.
Dope.
That all we have is now, the present moment. So much time spent worrying and and like feeding your ego and moving from that place. And the reality is that none of that matters. What matters is now and how you operate, and also take responsibility for who you are. So we're constantly being faced with situations where maybe our ego is being tested, or our the parts of us that we don't like to show the world are coming out. You're angry, you're pissed, you're annoyed, you're irritated. Me, I like to move from my heart, but if I don't acknowledge those other sides of me, I'm not, how honest am I really being, to myself? Facts. So, every day it's just like, learning yourself and being present and taking a hold of who you are and being honest with yourself, but the people around you. Facts. And like move from your heart. Talk about your feelings. Facts. People don't talk about their feelings. Facts. And also in the simplest way, like if someone's upset with me or I'm upset, I'll be like, I'm upset with you.
Sorry, could you say that again? I'm upset.
Simple.
The 1,000 on my head is disrespect. Sorry. Hey, all right.
That's a creative station, though.
That's so dope. That's dope. And the final thing I want to say is it's really dope that you're embracing that change and that you've really spent time developing that, because I think that's just something that I'm entering now. So to hear that is
I'm
really
still
inspiring,
entering constantly.
Sure.
So yeah.
Dope. Okay, cool. I'm gonna see you in 5 minutes. I'm gonna head to the
okay.
station.
All right, dope. This is cool.
Yeah.
Brother, you out?
Our live studio audience is decreasing.
Yeah.
No, my spirit's still here,
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I like to hear.
Jameson's still here, so take this.
Just take this from me. I don't want this. Okay.
At the end of the day, future sponsorship.
Yeah. For you. I'll get it just for you.
All right.
Yes.
So I want to ask you about your photography style.
Okay.
How would you go about describing your own style? What elements do you like to incorporate that you feel like are very true to who you are in the work that you do?
Okay, this is a good question. I'm a faces person, so I
definitely noticed that looking at your work. Yeah.
I love a face.
Like just people in general
too,
right? Yeah.
Capturing their joy. There's who, maybe a side of them that I was able to bring out, and through engaging them and a natural kind of a interaction. Sometimes I'm in public spaces, so I don't know the people, but I'll go up to them, and I think I move from my heart, so it just allows for. I've had really good experiences. So portraits of people, and specifically people of color. Yeah, I'm just drawn to people of color. Yeah, and unedited, kind of a raw version. Yeah.
So people is something I noticed, and it's super relatable as a producer, because in my own style, I'm also I like to showcase people, but this is the whole point of the show, right? It's I get to see how you showcase people, which is visually, right, and it's a bit more obvious when it's visual, right? Because we're very visual people, But as a producer, I like to, like when I'm working with Rohan, for example,
Right.
I like to build a beat depending on what Rohan wants to say in that song. So it's very much not disjointed. It's not a beat and rap lyrics,
Right.
but it's a beat meant to complement the rap lyrics and really show off Rohan as a rapper and as a person, whatever he wants to
Yes.
capture in the song, right? It's like, I just think that's like super
Yeah,
dope that
it's
you have a
just,
similar like perspective, like for photography too.
Yeah, I think it's about being inclusive to
Yeah.
not just showing what you do, but showing what
Off
someone
what other
else has done.
Exactly.
You know, for
yes,
you.
yes.
Yeah.
I totally vibe with that on
Yeah.
like so many levels. Another thing I noticed was like the rawness and the uneditedness of your photos, and that's something that Adria actually brought up yesterday when we were talking to her on the phone, right? And yeah.
Adria Kane, big up Adria Kane though. I can't.
Adria Kane, she's in the studio audience. Hey, there we go. But yeah, she brought up like the rawness of it, and
Well, what did you ask her? What
what did we ask you? Okay, it was actually something about your style,
Okay.
right? And just you as a person. Like we kept it very general, and like one thing that she said was like, just in general, you like capturing moments, and I noticed that's also something you talked about at brunch was like time stamping.
Yeah.
So like how do you like to show that aspect of things through your work?
Listen, I realize that I enjoy shooting behind the scenes because of those moments, you know, of someone just being in themselves and not focused on me. And, you know, I look at BTS or behind the scenes as like a whole other art form.
Because it's just what's naturally happening.
It's naturally
but there
happening.
happens to be a camera.
And if it comes from an eye that is shooting from the heart, imagine.
Right, yeah, you can just like capture all the right
Imagine.
moments, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so when I look at the BTS, like I love the portraits I get, but a lot of times some of my favorite photos are ones that I forgot I took, and they were just as someone was getting ready or, you know, talking to somebody or just having a silent moment with themselves. So moments for sure. And it's energy, you know, it's just a
capturing
calm.
the overall vibe.
Yeah,
of
100%. So
the whole, like,
Adria
scenario.
is right. Is definitely right about that.
That's so dope. Yeah, because like even in music, it's like personally something that I find myself doing in my own style is that there's this function called quantize, right? Which basically like snaps everything into time, so it's like perfectly on time. But I find myself not using it that much because I like to just play it, and it's literally a timestamp of like that moment when I had that idea, and now it's frozen, and I don't want to touch it. Like it's just frozen.
Yeah.
And like that's
and maybe
also,
that's what makes it perfect, right?
exactly right. It's the human element
100%.
to the whole thing.
Yes, yeah. Same thing.
Dope. All right, and we have 5 seconds left. So for once, I'm actually going to end this round early.
Yes. It was a good round. It was a good
That
round.
was a great round. I can't wait to just continue this conversation.
All right, dope.
What the heck, Cheyenne? Whose idea was
That's how
it?
you feeling?
For real? Actually, you're on my side. That means. Shout out to Ariana.
Who is that? Ariana.
Hey, Cheyenne's a clout chaser, bro. Every week he'd be like, insert this into the soundboard. It's cool. No, it's fucking cute. That's my favorite one. All right, cool. I want to start with a quote. This round with a quote from you. So the places I roam, the people I see, and the things I stumble upon. Can you expand on just your thinking leading up to like you even thinking that sentence, and then obviously I think it's like tied to the invisible majority. If you want to also tell people quickly what that's about. I know we haven't spent too much time on that yet, but yeah, just giving me an idea of like how you sort of came to that quote and how it's influenced your own art.
These are good questions.
Thank you. That's what I do. I'm kidding. Yeah.
That quote is from my Tumblr, sightandvision.tumblr.com.
Yep.
Yeah, siteandvision.tumblr.com.
Set and Vision.
Site and Vision.
Siteandvision.tumblr.com. Go check that out real quick.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think
like-
that quote was just the perfect description at the time to describe where and how and why and when I get the shots that I get.
So it is specific, you'd say, to like the photography.
Yeah, my style. I think
Right.
you know, the people I see, the places I stumble upon, all of that. That's exactly, you know, if you're like, where were you? I was like somewhere in the world, randomly invited or went to or saw or passed, and it happened.
So how did you get to that level of like being comfortable with like whatever happens, and whoever I meet is whoever I meet?
Oh, I think like I've always kind of been grounded.
Okay.
You know, I'm a Libra, so
Okay.
I mention that because the balance is real for me, and if I'm off, I know it's off, and I find my center, and so there's a part of me that like when I do question myself, I'll start tipping over, but then I quickly, you know,
Realign
come back to
yourself.
where I am. But that is also because of self-care. That's because of, like, again, the people you keep around you. Like, my crew of friends, the people around me are the rawest people. You know, they keep me, like, all the way grounded.
Shout-outs Tamara, shout-outs Adrian.
Tamara.
Shout-outs Baolu's gone now, but...
You know, I got, like, my friends Timby, Nadine, June, all of them, they, like... Without them, you know, my partner Haas, it's like there's people that like you know, you intentionally kind of their energy you bring into your life and you bring yours to them. And I won't have it any other way. I can't have any energy around me that is going to create a problem in my soul.
And would you say that most of those relationships, those core relationships that you just mentioned, happened with you seeking them out, or would you say they sort of came to you in a sense?
100% just synchronicity, organic, natural, me being whoever I am, them being whoever they are, and we cross paths.
Right. It's like what's happening in this room right now, right? It's like we just met today, but it's like when you put out a certain energy into the universe, it like...
But it also requires that you have to be okay with being alone.
Right.
Just
Okay.
be okay with being
I wanna
with
talk
yourself.
about that. That's interesting. Because I grew up an only child, and for me, it's like I love going to the movies alone. Like I love going to the concert alone. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's
like,
important.
it's like that level of comfortability. I know you said you've always been grounded. Would you also say you've always been comfortable with being alone?
I wouldn't say I've been always been comfortable.
Okay.
I think that first of all, I'm not born alone. I have a twin sister.
Ooh.
So
how do I know you're not the twin sister right
'Cause
now?
we're-
This isn't a whole. You're just duping us.
well, because we're fraternal twins.
Okay.
We're still twins, guys.
Okay. No, I get no. Y'all
People, the excitement goes down, you know, and I'm like,
Right. But yeah, sorry. Go on.
Cheyenne, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you would know if she was sitting here, but so I wasn't born into this world alone, and I definitely was not raised to feel that I'm the center of the universe. But you know, we grew up in a house where there was a lot of being silent, and you know, sometimes that of course that I didn't know that was uncomfortable or comfortable. It's just what it was. But because of that, now in my practice, you know, I am very comfortable with being alone and sitting in silence and thinking and feeling the things that that are difficult.
Right.
That's become comfortable for me.
Wow, that's great. Like it's just a passing moment.
Yeah.
And you just embrace the present.
And then another moment will come where you feel overjoyed and like you're just exploding for no reason or for all the reasons. I don't know, but.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's just like about treating those individual moments for what they are, right?
Yeah, being present is
awesome.
really, really important. That's the lesson I learned in the last year. Is present.
Just being
present.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. Well, thank you. I'm gonna come back for the third round. Is this the second round? Yeah, I'm gonna come back for the third round. But
Okay.
Hey, AP, it's your turn. Stop cheating.
He's in the
I've used
zone.
that one a couple times too.
He's in.
He's in the zone. All right,
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
How's the beat going?
I can't wait to hear this beat. I can't wait.
Oh,
The textile.
It's the mandala. The backdrop.
The fabric on the sheet.
Fabric on the fabric.
Yeah.
All right, so we are interviewing Zahra SIDDIQUI, so it wouldn't do justice if I didn't go into your first solo exhibition project.
Yes.
Right. Oh man, this is exciting stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah. There we go. Okay, it wasn't hyping up in here, you know. Here we go. So the invisible.
I wish everybody could see them snapping and how it looks like a struggle. Like it's just like
Also, shout out Allah saying we love you, Zahra.
Allah, yeah, no, Allah. I work with Allah at Launchpad.
oh.
Yeah, dope.
Awesome. So I just wanted to dig into
Yeah.
the invisible majority and what was the inspiration behind that? What was the whole thought process like? How did it go from an idea to your first solo exhibition
Oh
project?
my gosh,
Like,
the invisible majority, man. I feel like I don't know. That's like my heart. It changed me, and it taught me who I am in ways that I didn't know I needed to learn. So a couple years ago, Daniel Spectrum, their curator, El Cancel, approached me and said, "We want to have your first solo show." And I'm like, "Cool, yeah, let's come. I'll go see the space." It's a very large space. I was like, "I don't know if I could fill these walls."
right.
I got nervous, started, just questioning it. And she said she wanted 100 portraits. I'm like, wow, 100 portraits.
Yeah, what was that feeling like, right when she
I'm
asked
like,
that?
I just instantly at that time was not as secure.
Yeah.
And so I was just feeling insecure. I felt like maybe I can't do this. Like, I don't know if I'm your girl, that's what I was thinking. But she's amazing. And she's like, we're doing your show. Like, this is happening. So I went home and started going through my portraits, going through my, my stuff. But what people didn't know was that for a few months before then, I was actually kind of like doing collaging and with National Geographic magazine. So I was just kind of like, I felt stuck as a photographer and I needed to, kind of still create and express myself quietly.
Right. But like just through like a bit of a different medium.
Yeah, but just for me. It's always for me.
It's
So then I'm there. I remember the moment. I'm sitting in my basement apartment. I'm on my laptop. I'm looking through pictures. And in my periph, I'm seeing these collages on the floor, that I was working on. And I kept kind of going back and forth. And then I saw the faces in the collages. And I'm like, what if I did 100 mixed media portraits? First of all, I've never done that. So I don't know even why I was like, why don't I? So I instantly started making prototypes on like watercolor paper. And I already had prints. I always make prints. Photographers, if I give you any advice, print your work. Even if it's like wallet size, 5x7s, 8x10s, print your work. Like it's
important.
It's just nice to see that, you know? So I had a whole bunch of prints. So then I made a couple of prototypes. I went to go see Elle at Daniel Spectrum, and I said, so crazy idea, hear me out. And I showed her, and she's like, do it, let's do it. And I'm like, she thought it was wild. She's like, I don't know how you're going to do this in 4 or 5, it was 5 months I think I had.
Okay, damn.
So then I...
Wait, 5 months for
to create 100 mixed media. No, 100.
100. Okay.
So it took me 5 months to make 100 mixed media portraits. So I went in. I experienced what it was like to go crazy. I didn't know that was real. I thought that's movies, artists going crazy.
That's like a lot of creating.
Oh my god!
In such a short period of time, like
so. There was one point where I wanted to like put them all in a garbage bag and throw them like on the side of the road.
Straight out of a movie.
Yeah,
wow.
It was real. But Elle, that's why I big up Elle, because Elle, she pulled me out of some dark places.
That's so dope.
So the day of the show, or the week of the show comes, and I had completed 150 portraits of people from Toronto, New York, Trinidad, Mexico.
Okay, so that's how it went down. You had to make 100, but you made.
I just, yeah, I don't even know.
Snapped.
And then not just, I snapped.
No, that's actually that's
Yeah.
that's actually crazy. Like,
So then not just like they were all 6x6 small, but then I made eight large 30 by 30 as well.
okay.
So I don't know what I turned into, but I was focused and I was creating from my heart, and it was therapy for me.
Yeah.
The invisible majority putting all of us on. Oh my God! Like that's an honor for me.
Yeah.
My work in this community is like support, help people, tell them when they're good at something.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like be
Don't pull them down.
amped
Just
for them.
Yeah.
So this was my way of being hyper amped to be a part of a demographic that is seen as a problem, and I'm going to show you that you will not be able to help but to smile. Show your teeth when you look at this grid, because they're not a problem in that moment. I guarantee it.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, this round is already over.
Already?
Yeah, I know. That one did not feel like 5 minutes at all. Felt like one. But Rohan, it's your turn, man. Unfortunately,
It's flying.
we just
Man,
got.
stop
we
stealing
just-
my jokes.
We just got into the invisible majority. Oh shit!
All right. It's all good. We can go even more into the invisible majority later too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is my final round. So yeah, I wanted to get a little bit more personal about you, and even outside of your art form, just you as an individual. So you obviously embrace your culture a lot, like, you know, growing up Pakistani and everything. Coming back to like sort of intersectionality and being that complex being of like having multiple layers to yourself. If you're comfortable sharing, can you detail any time, if any, where you didn't embrace your culture and it was like maybe hard to embrace your culture in a way? Yeah, I'll just leave it open-ended there.
100%. I did not start embracing my culture till I was in my 20s.
Right.
Because as I said, like being Indian or Pakistani or brown was never cool. Ever cool. That's not, you don't show off.
Right.
You know, that's not something,
facts.
you know, it's something you hide. I mean, it started, Tamara knows, it's like, I tell her this story, it makes her cry every time. But like, just, you know, when you would bring your lunch to school and
Turmeric.
What? The curry smell, all of that. And people making
love it
fun.
now, huh?
Yeah, they love it now.
They love it now, huh?
And
That's
meanwhile,
that turmeric turn.
I'm there craving their bologna. Like, what is wrong with me? Why would I ever crave bologna?
Facts, yeah.
It's like crazy.
Bologna, bruh. Bologna, doc?
And like processed sliced cheese. Why would I want that? But when
Why is that good?
Why is
The
that?
hell?
But like when I was a kid, that was gold.
Right.
Because you were made fun of. So like,
Right.
and then like the clothing, and then my mom would come and, you know, pick us up from school, and she is fully Indian.
Right.
So accent, you know, I didn't even know my mom had an accent for real till I was 16.
Right.
Because I was so used to her voice. Someone was like, "Yo, Zahra, your mom has a strong accent."
What is an accent?
And I'm like,
What is
"No,
an
she
accent?"
doesn't."
Yeah, right.
I mean, no, so I went home. I'm like, you know, Mom, I'm like, this kid today told me that you have a strong accent. She's like, no. She's like, obviously. She's like,
Are you dumb?
I'm the only one here that's like, wow, blown away. So,
The age of 16.
but it was when I was starting to become in my 20s, and even still, like, I remember. I don't know if you remember this track that came out by an artist named Truth Hurts.
I don't think so.
Yo, you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
Truth Hurts.
school
It's
me.
like,
School me, OG.
yo, look, Google that.
Right.
Yeah, no. American artists during like the late 90s.
Okay.
It was like in the clubs, this track. And they sampled an old classical Indian,
Right.
you know.
Sorry, I just overheard this. This is the track that I showed you the other day.
Oh, shit, no way. AP, why are you eavesdropping?
Sorry.
bro?
Thank you.
How can you hear us, by the way?
Yeah.
AP's cheating. out
Yo,
here.
so that
But yeah, okay.
was kind of monumental because there was a sample, and I believe I had played it for my mom, I think, or somebody, and somebody told me, they're like, this sample is from 100 years ago, like
Wow.
a, you know, classical Indian
Wow.
singer. So all of a sudden you see brownness,
Right.
you know, like they rating it. And I just was not able to celebrate that. It was just like...
I experienced a similar thing
Yeah.
growing up with, like, in the Timbo area of, like, Timbaland's, like, all of his, like, Indian samples. And Scott
Yeah.
Storch came out with all these. But I never truly felt connected to it. Like, I never felt like, yo, this is dope, this is us. It never really felt like that. You know what I mean?
It never really felt like that, but I think, you know, like, as time goes on, people are just, you know, people change. And,
Right.
you know, that it's confirmation that, like, even trends aren't real. You know, they don't actually mean anything, because they are constantly changing.
Right.
Perspective and how you feel about something is constantly changing because of, you know, the way we're programmed in the world, the way that we're taught to see things and believe in things. And, you know, once you start really diving into that area of, like, existence, a lot of perspective is gained.
Yeah, because I know you mentioned, like, being in the present is so important, but also, like, when you talk about the external environment, it's like, think about what was cool 50 years ago. Some really problematic shit. So it's like, how do you almost,
100%.
it's like balancing, like, being present while also saying, like, yeah, like, right now, this shit isn't cool, or
it's like, question things. Question things. You know, just because the Jack over here tells me this is a good song, like, why? Why should I ever...
Why, Jack?
Why, Jack? I'm happy for you that you enjoy that song.
Right.
Sorry. But I don't think that you can have any clue to know what I'm going to actually enjoy. So
Right,
the thing is that, anyways, perspective and just...
That's dope. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why I brought these friends, because they really boost me for no reason.
Yeah, they're snapping in the background,
Yeah.
quite literally.
Bars all day.
Damn, I wish.
Adria, you can use any in your songs. Adria Kid.
That's dope. Shout out to Adria K, man. Check her out on Spotify. She's dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you. I wish we could dig deeper into this, but my time is up. But I'm gonna go finish the beat.
Okay.
And then AP's actually gonna come here for I think a bonus surprise round.
Okay.
So
Surprise.
we're gonna see you soon, and then we'll listen to the beat at the end. Cool.
Oh my God, I'm so amped.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. Cool.
We Gucci.
All right, brother. Hit me.
So, welcome to the bonus round. I know nothing's really changed.
There's a different overlay on the screen right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, we have over. Oh,
Not even. Not yet.
well, it's okay. This is the bonus round because I said it is.
That's right.
All right.
Control
So in
that.
this round, what we like to do is we like to show you one of our pieces of art, and
Okay.
we like to. I'll give you a bit of context on what I'm going to talk about, referring to that art, and then after that, we can just get into a dope conversation.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
So, Shan.
What's the song called?
Oh, I was going to say it after, but I'll say it before too. So the song is called Kumar by Keralanka. That's us. And it's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, SoundCloud,
Yes.
Tidal, Deezer. I think I got everything.
Alright, ready?
Hit it.
Put me down, bring me up. Don't go fit these streets and I don't give a.
Yeah, that's how you guys are feeling?
Bitches racist. Right up in the room, leave you fool by faded.
Hey. Okay.
Hey, glad you enjoyed it.
Okay, I love me some bass.
Hey,
100%.
Okay. So that track was called Kumar again. Available everywhere. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube. Oh, we have a music video out for
Oh
it.
my God, really?
You can check that out. Oh, we'll show you that
I
music
can't
video
wait.
after.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
That was just the outro, right?
All right.
And so, as you probably noticed, the sound selection in that song is very much South Asian influenced, right? We got like the sitar type sounds, but then it's also fused with like the more Anglosphere, like the more like English sounds, like the 808s and all that. And then also I added a South Indian drum in there.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called the tawil. Okay, and it's a South Indian drum. It's not this one. This is
Yes.
also a South Indian drum, but it's not this one. But basically, the whole point of that song is representation, right?
Okay.
And so Rohan actually came to me with this beat idea, and he's like, "These are the lyrics I want to put on this song." I'm like, okay, I really like that idea, right? And I was telling you before about how I like to showcase the meaning of what the artist is going for, right? Mm-hmm. So I put in those more South Asian elements to help drive the idea of representation. Like, this is cool. You know, it's cool to be who we are.
100%, yeah.
And so on the show, we're taking the definition of intersectionality, right? And we're kind of twisting it a bit and adding our own twist to it and applying it to the world of art.
Okay.
And that's something I've noticed a lot of people do. They like to add their own twist to definitions of words, right? So my word today and what I talked about the song is representation.
Okay.
And I want to know, what is your personal definition of representation?
Oh.
Something we talked about a bit at brunch.
We
Want to
did.
get more in depth into it.
Okay, this is a really good question. I love talking about representation. And it's what is the definition? How would I define representation?
Yeah, what is your definition of representation?
It is being like the rawest, realest, form of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It is being all of your emotions and being like proud of those emotions, and it's it's just like the ultimate type of self-love. And for me, because I've been on a rocky road. This is probably for another interview, but just this story
take it whichever
of
direction you want, you know.
well, the story. My narrative. It hasn't been easy, and in the end of it, I realized it was because I didn't have anyone to look to that I could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And I craved for that so much. I feel like that would have saved me a long time ago. So that's what I chose to become.
Mm-hmm.
Is be something that represents a place of healing for somebody else in the world who maybe didn't have that as well.
Yeah.
It's the blueprint, right? That Bala was talking about.
The blueprint, yeah. Exactly. And although I'm not saying I want to take some leadership role and be, I'm being myself, and being someone who moves from representation is me being myself, and it nurtures me. But it definitely has kind of impacted why I do what I do and why representation is so important. Because now it's amazing how many young brown girls I have impacted, and who come to me and write me letters and notes and are in my DMs, and it's so nothing beats that.
It's like there's it's just such a heartwarming feeling.
Oh my gosh.
To know that you've impacted someone else's life.
Oh
on a level
God,
where
my heart, even thinking about I feel like, oh my God, it's I'm so grateful to be in this position and to have done whatever work I needed to do to feel this strong.
And what always gets me about that thought is, it's a thought I have a lot too, and it's like you know the feeling now when you've changed someone's life, but you don't know yet.
You don't know.
10 years later, how that yes, you've changed their life already, but how that one change.
Just the ripple effect.
It's like your friend, right?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have had an idea that
No
just
way.
telling you yes, go do your thing.
Shai would never she couldn't have predicted it either.
That's what I'm saying, right? But she made that
Yeah.
decision, and that decision led to
Yeah.
this. You're
it's
here today.
so beautiful.
Yeah, that's so dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the topic of representation, let's see, what did I want to talk about here? Oh, right. So actually, no, I just wanted to relate it back to actually something we've gone through. Is so with this song, actually, we advertised it in India through Facebook, and it's crazy. We've gained so many fans from it, and it's because of that idea of it's a North American hip hop duo who has their roots in South Asia, and they're deciding to stick to their roots, and that's something that everyone we've messaged has resonated with. We're why what's so special about us, right? And it's always you guys are just really dope, and you guys are just helping be that leader for us, right? And it's like it's not even something like you said, like we are trying to consciously take on, like to necessarily be like the top leader, but it just happens, right? And you just accept it. Yeah. It's super. It's
just
dope.
a part of your journey.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
It's just like breathing.
Oh damn.
We're out of time?
Yes, we are out of time, but oh right. So so now we want to flip it and give you a minute, or actually no, just take whichever time you want, and just talk about anything you have going on in your life, any projects coming up. Shout out your socials.
Okay.
Any info about you that you want to get out? It's a good time to shine.
Right now, I am working. Well, I just came back from Morocco. My partner Haas and her crew, they took me out there, or she brought me out there, and I definitely captured. I was only there for 3 days, so there was not a lot of time to shoot. But right now, my only focus is working on those images for the invisible majority, but I'm going to take it in a different direction. So I'll be for the holidays. I'll be really quiet and working, and then also, I'm just continuously just trying to create and stay active and self-care. I could go on about what I would like to work on in 2019, but right now in this moment, the only thing on my mind are the Morocco images. My socials, Instagram is Zahra, ZAHRA _Siddiqui. Perfect. And
it's there, right? I'm not pointing at like
on
nothing.
The screen?
Okay. We're pointing at you, but like okay. I'm close enough. Yeah.
Zahra _Siddiqui, and then also my website, which is a Tumblr, and I just want people to know it's okay to have a Tumblr. Nice. I love my site. It's sightandvision.tumblr.com. And that's about it.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought up the invisible majority, because actually we were taking a look at the invisible majority, and we did realize one thing.
Yes.
There seems to be something missing.
What's missing?
There's someone's face seems to be missing. Whose face is that?
I don't know. I haven't seen Zara's face in the invisible majority.
I haven't either, actually.
It's there.
Oh, it is?
It's there.
Well then. We
yeah,
haven't seen
because when you do see it, you better stop. You better
Actually, no. I'll let you take it out of the bag. Do the honors, please.
First of all, this is so Canadian. The shopper's struggle.
It's because we love you.
You guys stop. I don't do well with... You better stop.
Wait, you gotta take off the bubble wrap. That's not part of the story. That's not part of it. You can unwrap that.
This is so adorable. Oh my god, I can't even, guys. You're gonna make me get so emotional. Oh my god, why are you guys so...
Can we see it? Oh.
I can't.
Shout outs to Danny with the arts and crafts.
It's so cute because you know what? The one of me is you can't see my face, so that's adorable.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, this is so dope, you guys.
All right, so
thank you.
Just want to
so
give you a
much.
quick explanation.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it like that.
This right here, this is the dirt. This is the this is the dirt. This is the where
the muck.
Yeah, this is like this is where we come from. Like we start down here, and then. This is supposed to represent, like, Danny, what's this supposed to represent?
It's like the forest.
It's the forest. Okay, I didn't want to get that wrong. I was like, is it forest or the grass?
Right now.
Okay, but it's the growth, right? It's the forest. I mean, that sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I love it.
And
environment.
on top, yes. Mm-hmm. And then the blue is the sky. That's where we aim to be.
Yeah,
aim to
so
touch
beautiful.
The sky. And then here we got the bricks, and that's just to represent... They're falling in place.
Yo, you guys
from different levels of, like from up here, but also from the growth section, and it's just all overlapping.
This is dope.
So here you go.
Thank you
on behalf
so
of us.
much. This is really very thoughtful.
Of course, thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
It's been a dope experience.
I'm so happy to be here.
I think it's that time now.
Yeah.
Where we get to show you what we've made
okay.
based off your story. Yeah, and we'll be right back in literally 20 seconds, so don't go anywhere.
Should we get rid of this?
Oh, no.
That's so cute, guys. adorable. They really did the mixed media.
Shout outs to Danny.
Shout out to Danny, man.
Danny.
Danny to go. I didn't even know Danny was into arts and crafts like that.
Guys, how did the Insta stuff go? Okay, good.
All right.
That means it was on for a while. Were people messaging?
Zahra, come through.
Come join us.
I'm going to show you the beat. Dope. Is this good, Danny? Like around here? Can we move this?
Yeah.
Can you come move this?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Also, if you didn't notice that the dirt
Are you
part is made of cinnamon.
Oh, wow.
Smell that. Smell that. Yeah.
Guys, that's important information.
It's too powerful.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Perception
This is a
dimension.
really good piece.
You know,
Danny,
your
Danny.
factory,
Do not
visual.
compliment
Danny.
Compliment Danny.
It's gonna have a beat now, like a little speaker.
You can compliment us on the beat. If you like it.
That's what it is. It's neat.
I'm so Eric. Oh my God. Okay, so right now, y'all
Come
are
through,
gonna
come
be-
through. So what we're gonna do? No, we're not performing it, but like we're just gonna play it. We're just gonna listen to it, and then AP and I are gonna break down like why we did what we
Okay,
did.
dope.
Cool. All right. So we good?
So
We good to go? Are we, Danny, we're live. We're good.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the story of Zahra. I don't know if that's what it's called. But this is our interpretation of you. The book of Zahra. Alright, cool.
That was so
Appreciate
fun.
that. Thank you,
Yo,
thank
Do you
you.
get the MP3 or
Yes.
what-
What's up?
Do you get the MP3?
You get the MP3, you get the wave, you get it all. Yeah.
You guys just did that, right?
We
now.
just did that, yeah, over the
That's
past
cool.
like 40 minutes.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, cool.
No,
So
no,
you
no.
want me to start? Or?
can start.
Okay, I'll start it off. So I'm just going to explain basically each element. Whoops. All right, cool. So first thing is like we talked a lot about honesty and just being real with yourself, right? So just around the middle, there's this like sort of part where everything sort of, I don't want to say goes silent, but almost in a meditative state. Because you also mentioned like sort of embracing silence as a concept. So I wanted in the middle of it to just sort of have this meditative trance along with the word honest in there. Also at the beginning, obviously you probably heard the Om Shanti Om, which is sort of the cultural reference, but what that also means is peace, right? And so you talked a lot about like just that concept of peace and like coming to terms with yourself, and like the reason also that the beat's constantly switching is because you talked about adapting and constantly, you know, looking to the future, and like even though you're present, you're also constantly adapting. So that's sort of why things keep switching on. And then at the end we also added sort of this sitar over here, and the sitar AP added these like really dope I think 808s. It's like it's a little bit more trappy and cool, you know what I mean? And we wanted to insert the little bassy touch there, because it's like to me it's like we had the Om Shanti Om before, but it's like when it comes the fusion as well as like it comes back and it's cool now, because we had that conversation around like what wasn't cool before and now it is kind of thing. Yeah, that's my explanation. Go ahead. Now this is my favorite part because I have no idea why AP did what he did.
I didn't know his reasoning either, right? Which is you're good.
Cool. You're good. Yep. Cool.
Okay, so I got here, and then I was like, oh, there's no drums, but what can I do with the drums to represent anything you've told me, right? So actually at the beginning, you'll hear these drums that are kind of like super off, like they're just all over the place.
I did notice that.
And they're like, these guys are trash.
Nah, just like,
Don't worry. There's a reason behind it. There's totally a reason. So, yeah. It was. Oh my god. If I did that, not on purpose. Oh my god.
I promise Keralanka knows what a tempo is. It's all artistic, all right?
So there's those off drums, and then there's also this piano that's just like,
yeah, I noticed that.
it's all over the place, right? So both of those together were meant to represent your struggle with expressing yourself.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
Yeah, so all up and down, round and round, like inside.
You know, so like I want to get that across by just like off time, off key. Right? What did you want to say?
Oh, I wanted to say, I get up to the booth and I hear this. I'm like, the fuck is going on? And I was going to change it. I was going to be like, oh, he fucked up. But then I was like, no, you learn to trust each other. And like, there's a reason behind that. There's a reason. There's a reason.
I'm dead.
And then after that, let's see, what did you... There was something very important you said. Oh, right. Okay, so you were talking about change and how like you changed through the invisible majority to like be more comfortable with who you are, right? And so for me, like that's a very triumphant feeling. It's like breaking through something, right? So what I did was I added the 808. This like it's just a bit larger than life feeling, but it wasn't large enough. So then I had to add these horns. So all together.
Yeah, man, I grew.
You grew. You broke through. You know, that's what it was. Hey.
Yeah, that's dope. Okay, so
And that's what I did on the beat.
okay, I love that.
Okay. And that's your beat. Thank you for sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Guys, this was so much fun.
Yeah, it was hella fun for us too. It was dope just to hear your story from such an authentic perspective. And I know you were mentioning at the beginning, like often with like photographers, it's like people aren't used to like seeing you express yourself in a way where it's like via an interview or whatever it is. So thank you for like sort of, you know, staying outside your comfort zone and like sharing your story with us. Really appreciate it. So before we leave, we got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Firstly, who is someone that you know that you think would be a dope guest on the Keralanka Show?
Oh gosh, I can't pick one person.
Oh, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I can't. There's no.
All right, two.
I think she needs more than 2.
Guy, listen.
5?
Listen. Okay. Every single human being who, you know, has a lived experience that you're interested in should be here. I think that. You know, I don't like the name dropping. I'm not doing that.
Okay,
I can't do that.
Okay.
If you go and follow me, you'll see like everyone on there.
I feel that.
Everyone on there. I mean, I even feel like my mother should be interviewed. So.
Okay, let's go.
Think about
Mama
it.
SIDDIQUI?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yes, let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, that's my
Okay,
answer.
appreciate that. Cool, well, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for being our guest. This has been episode 4 of the Keralanka Show. We hope you enjoyed yourself. You know, we had a great vibe, even though we just met this morning. Like, brunch was amazing, everything. So thank you so much. And, find us on socials, at Keralanka, on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, etc. as well. You want to plug your socials one more time? Real quick?
_SIDDIQUI, and then on Twitter it's Zahra City.
Zahra
Adrian,
City.
Is that right?
She just asked her friend what her Twitter handle is.
I don't know. That's how. I don't even know. Okay.
That's all good.
Don't
All good.
pressure me. Find me. Google
All
me.
good.
If you Google me, you'll find it all. So.
All right. Well, we're just gonna end with a.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so
This has been the Keralanka Show, episode 4. We're corny as fuck, but the music bangs. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. Peace.
Dope.
Keralanka, what's up?